What's up, guys? Ryan back here again for another video. Today we're talking real estate. So, any of you guys interested in real estate investing? You want to get started, but you don't know where. All right, so I went through and I tried to think of every possible option out there. I know there's probably some other ones that maybe is a combination of different topics, but this is what I came up with. So, I want to show you guys what your options are. Um, just like anything, any kind of new topic, any new business you want to start, you should really research everything that's out there before you just jump in and just start one thing, because you never know, like you might be really grinding, really hustling at this one um, subsect of this business, but you might actually enjoy something else a lot more, or just see that your skills are applied in a much better fashion elsewhere. So I thought about this, and I'll give you guys updates as time comes, and I'm like, oh, I should have talked about this or that one. But anyway, so I want to kind of go over some of these things for you guys. So um, some of the basic ones I'll talk about are wholesaling, being a real estate agent, doing short sale negotiations, BRRRR, which stands for buy, rehab, rent, and repeat, note purchasing, note buying, and buying rental properties. So I hope this music isn't too loud. It's alright, but I'll try and speak loud. So wholesaling. It's the notorious buy and flip real estate with low and no money down. You've probably seen a lot of ads, and you just maybe glanced over and thought, oh, this is all a scam, and it's illegal, all that kind of stuff. But believe it or not, that's actually how I got started in real estate. So my first flip was actually a wholesale deal. Um, we purchased it for a pretty low amount, and we flipped it to another guy. And the difference in between was what myself and my partner made. So if you guys want to check out the video where I talk about that, I'll link it up here or over there somewhere. Maybe I'll just make a little card or something. Click on that. So check that out, because that was pretty cool. So anyway, low or no money down. Essentially, wholesaling is you do a lot of marketing. Maybe you send out postcards to a certain list of people that either they are renting out a house, may live in another state or another town. They don't live there, and they might be tired of renting out. They might be moving soon. They might be behind on the mortgage on the rental house, or there's a million different situations. But there is absentee. There are lists out there which you could buy, or you could actually make yourself, of people who own houses and they don't live there. So those might be people you want to target. Land, you don't really hear many people flipping land, but it's vacant land. You could always go in that area. REOs, which are real estate owned, that's what it stands for, and that is after a foreclosure. So after the whole foreclosure process goes through, the bank now owns the house, and they're like, oh crap, we have to sell this now. So that's what it transitions into, where the bank owns the house and they want to sell it. Traditionally or normally, banks don't want to have to deal with that. When we saw this big upturn recently in the foreclosure market, there was something kind of interesting that was starting to happen. Was there was a little bit of a change in banks' mindset, where they would actually fix up properties just a little bit, because when a house goes into foreclosure, people don't really care, right? They just make holes in the walls, or they're really upset with the bank, and they just let the house go to crap. And so it's really tough to sell these properties. So what some of the banks were actually doing is, rather than go through a short sale process, which I'll talk about in a minute, they'll actually fix it up. They'll go through a foreclosure, they'll fix it up, and they'll make a little bit more profit that way. But they don't really do a whole lot. So anyway, there's a few strategies with everything I'm gonna talk about. There's always going to be other things that I miss, which I'm sorry, I can't think of every single situation because real estate there's always a lot of moving parts and everything. So anyway, you could get the inside scoop. You could kind of network with one of the guys at the bank who might have an REO that's going to be listed soon, and you might be able to work with him and kind of get it before a lot of people see it go on the market. You could or you could just check out the market, hunt for your own deals. So anyway, that's REOs. Short sales are where you find a foreclosure. Okay, it's not gone through the process yet, but you purchase it before it goes through the process. So you can negotiate with the bank and you settle for a price and you buy it. And the bank's like, okay, good. You have it. We recouped some of the money. They always lose a little bit of money, but believe it or not, banks actually take out insurance policies. So there are insurance policies that they have on houses, which they can always just take from and kind of recoup their money that way from either it's themselves or maybe they siphon out a few different notes to other investors, other hedge funds, whatever. So it's a long process, but you can get pretty good discounts. So like I talked about, it took like over probably a year to get my short sale. It's really grueling and tiring and a lot of paperwork and a lot of fighting back and forth. Which actually, in the end of the day, it was probably a good thing that I went through that first and, learn that really tough process. And then, I'm able to move on to maybe some easier flips and stuff, easier wholesale deals. So, anyway, that's short sales. Foreclosures, kind of talked about it before, but you might be able to work with the owner themselves and kind of buy it then. Pay him out, pay out the owner for what's owned on the house, and kind of settle it from that point. And there's lists like everywhere. You go on Zillow, the most basic real estate website. Go on Zillow, and there's a little drop-down menu. You could check off foreclosures and see how many there around your area. And something else I just thought of: tax liens. Maybe somebody's behind their taxes. Usually, it's one of the last things that you want to kind of skip out on. So, people might be a little bit farther along in the process of foreclosure and tax liens. If you're not paying your taxes, typically it's not so great. So you could probably find the list online, or you could just call your town and they should be able to give you a list of that stuff. So anyway, that's wholesaling. So there's definitely other ways to wholesaling. Something I'm kind of exploring right now is working with an investor right now, and I'm marketing strictly to properties that he's looking for. So rather than just do my own marketing and think, okay, I'm going to go for absentee owners with this amount of equity, and I think the numbers are okay here, and then I'll just blast it out to hundreds of real estate investors and see who nibbles, who wants the property. So I think it's a little bit better to work strictly with an investor and do marketing that way, because he knows exactly what he wants, and as soon as we find a deal and the numbers are good, we know that we already got our guy. So that might be something you want to check out if you're interested in wholesaling. Like, see if you could partner up with a guy. Make sure you know your stuff ahead of time. You're not just going to a cold, and he's gonna have to take a lot of time out of his day to teach you, because it's got to be a win-win for everybody in the end of the day. So all right, let's jump on to, so you could be a real estate agent if you want to invest in real estate. You can work with standard standard retail buyers. People are just looking for their own single family house. You can work with commercial real estate people. Somebody who's looking for a big commercial area. Or you could, let's see, what else? Or you could work with, an investor. Maybe you could get a lot more pocket listings from some of your other agent friends, and then and be able to just, pass it off right to him. Get your 3, 4, 5, 6%, whatever you negotiate, and that might work out for you too. The only thing is, it's kind of tough just getting into being a real estate agent. Just because there's a big trust factor when it comes to being an agent, knowing that you're reliable, that you're informative, you know the area, and you know it's a good deal or not. So it's a little tough to get into at the beginning, but once you get a good reputation, it could pay off in the long run because you'll just hey, who'd you use for an agent selling your house or buying that house? Johnny down the street, he's really good. He sold 50 houses last year, and you build that reputation, which can really be good. And a lot of easy deals, maybe making 10, 15, 20,000 a month, just getting these constant flow of houses. So it's pretty sweet. Another option you could do is short sale negotiating. I kind of talked about it before, but that is where you are the guy who's doing all the negotiating for these deals. So you are calling up the IRS, you're calling up the bank, you're calling up the other lenders to try and settle the payments that are owed on the house that this guy is falling behind on. So it's a little bit of a niche area, but if it's kind of like being an agent. If you build that really awesome reputation, then you can get a nice flow of deals come in, and as long as you have your system down, make sure that you don't get overloaded, because a lot of deals can have a lot of moving parts into them, and it's also it's scary because these people are about to lose their house, and they're going bankrupt, and it's really tough times for them. So you you're kind of their last resort at that point, and you have a lot of responsibilities. You take on a lot of responsibilities because you really got to care and know that you're gonna fall through. You're not gonna fall behind on something, and make this person's life even worse. So it's a little scary. But you could get some pretty awesome revenue. You could get a lot of you do really well in that market if you niche down there. So anyway, that's short sale negotiating. Burr. So it's kind of a way of buying rental properties or fix and flip, but at the end of the day, actually, oh, I think this is. I just went through my head, and I think this is refinance. Sorry about that. So Burr, buy, rehab, refinance, repeat, and there is a rent in there. So essentially, you could do your own marketing, or you could work with a wholesaler. So you're finding a distressed property which needs a lot of work, or short sale, anything that has some meat on the bone where you could add some value, fix it up, and refinance it. You stick a tenant in there, get some passive income, and you refinance it. Right, refinance, and then you repeat. You take your equity out, and then you find another deal. So now you got that property going and giving you a check every month, kind of like a little game Monopoly. So anyway, that's Burr. Um, I don't know if everybody probably calls it something different, but that's a different strategy right there. I know about two guys doing that, and they're doing pretty well. They focus just on one town specific, um, and I don't know, it's working out really well. Especially if you have a few guys on the deal too, so that kind of helps to kind of escalate and move a lot faster. Everybody's putting like a quarter of their money into it. You flip it, and then maybe you don't get the entire amount back, um, but you know, works out pretty well. So another strategy is note buying. That you kind of have to have a lot of capital. Um, Note buying is essentially on a mortgage. What happens with a mortgage is there's either a bank or a big hedge fund or something. Your mortgage gets thrown into this big pile, and this company buys the big pile, knowing that all right, all these mortgages are going to give me a steady like 5% a year or something like that. So it's generally not big returns, but it's it's another option out there if you guys want to take it. So, and then the last one I thought of is rental property. So just whether you want to buy a single family, two family, three family, apartment complex, what have you. It takes kind of a lot of capital. You could also do what I'm doing actually is house hacking. You could buy a two family, three family, live in one unit, rent out the other ones, and then kind of help you there, and then just kind of jump on and go on to the next deal, whether you want to do it again or you want to buy a single family and then focus on wholesaling for a while, and then get a bunch more rental properties. So it's always another option, but it comes with needing a little bit more capital too. So if you live in the house, you could probably get away with doing an FHA, but you gotta really run your numbers and know if it's a good deal or not at the end of the day, if you could really afford it. So I actually did a video on that, analyzing rental properties, which I will link up there too. Up there, I don't know, somewhere. I gotta figure it out for next time, so I just went up there. But yeah, check that out if you guys want to know how to run the numbers on a rental property and know if it'll actually bring you money at the end of the month, because that's the whole point of rental property, right? You want to be able to create some passive income. So anyway, that's kind of my broad overview of real estate investing and getting started in it. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, if you want me to dive down into more details on specific topics, devote a whole video to buying absentee properties, how do you get the list, how do you talk to the people, how do you work with the agent if there is one, the attorney, all that kind of deal. So if you guys are really interested in that, let me know. Drop a comment down below, and be sure, if you aren't yet, to subscribe. Click on the little thingamajig to get notifications when I come out with new videos. I'm pushing hard, try to do as much as I can. So trying to help you guys out. So yeah, definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you guys like, and we'll catch you next one.